Okay, hello friends. So today we have Deepa with us from IBM. She's having 14 years of total IT experience in various roles, like he's agile consultant, team agile coach, and programmer and developer, and so many things. So today we are going to discuss very important thing, which we keep on getting different queries from different viewers, from our group members, that if someone is new as a Scrum Master or an Agile coach, and they are going to join any new organizations. So what are the key things which they should adhere to? What are the challenges which they might face in their new role? And how they can, what they can expect on day one, and how they can set up their small milestones for a 1 week, for 1 month, and so on and so forth. So Deepa is going to give us all the GAN today with all those things. So Deepa, welcome, and thanks for giving your time today.
Hey, thanks, Sunan. Thanks for having me today. And yeah, this is not Gyan. This is like I can say, whatever I'm going to speak is
Your real
complete.
life experience, basically, yes.
Yes. It's
That's
all
what.
from my experience, what I have learned, what I have
That's
seen,
important.
what I have experienced, right? So, on that note, without taking much of your time, I'll straight away jump to the topic, right? So, nowadays, the job market for agile is really hot. When I say hot, like there's bulk hiring happening everywhere in all organizations, especially because everybody has realized with this pandemic that there is a need to digitally transform your overall business, right? So we all understand, everybody across industry, irrespective of IT, so yes, we all understand there's a need to transform, and who could be the better change agents than the Scrum Masters, right? They are. And I know, I mean, after you crack an interview, and Sunat, I have watched so many videos of yours in Career Talks speaking about how people have cracked the Scrum Master interview, watching those videos. I often felt, what next? How will they handle the real life situation, right? Cracking an interview is one part, and
I
the next.
always tell them. I always tell them that cracking interview is the easiest part. The
Yes.
actual problem will come when you actually going to start the job.
Yes,
Yeah. Sorry.
yes.
Please continue.
Right. So now when you are actually in the job, right? Once you have been hired in the organization, as a new Scrum Master joining a new organization, there are a lot of challenges, unseen challenges, or you like, the organization is new, so you don't have anyone known in the organization, so you don't have any support system to jump onto or fall back to, right? Normally in any organization, if you have spent some years, you have your own community, right, that you can fall back to, you can ask. So your struggles start right from there, fitting into the organization. And also people start looking up to you as if you are going to transform the entire organization, not just the account that you will be aligned to, right? Because people have very high hopes that, okay, I have got I see this is a mindset, and I don't blame anybody, and the dynamics could be different, but I'm just sharing my own experience. It's like people look up to you as, now that you are here, you will make us all agile. It doesn't work that way, and it doesn't work overnight, right? So as a person, I mean, as a human that you join an organization, I think the first and foremost thing, one should realize that this is just the start. Just like, you go back to your school days, 10th, past 10th, you have achieved it all, then you realize, no, I have to give 12th. Then you pass 12th exam, and you get to know, no, it's not the end. You have your college. Similarly, once you have cracked your interview, you have joined a new organization, there is a big task, right? And what I've seen, I'm going to share that people, feel so insecure that they want to prove their worth in the very first or 2 weeks, that I have done this, I have brought this change, I have changed the entire, Jira board, I have introduced new Scrum events, right? That ways you will fail. And this I'm talking from experience, right? Before bringing in any change, and I go by instinct, right? I am a very I'm a person, I think, and that works the best, right? Go by the instinct. So if you say, no, I'm going to bring all that big bang, whatever learnings I have, I will show them in the first 2 weeks or first 1 month, I will do it all. Don't do that, because uh, you are not looking at small gains, right? You're looking for an entire transformation, right? So when you think end to end, there are a few things that you need to focus on. First, the team. Let me begin with. There are certain things that as a new person joining in, you focus on the team first. Okay. Uh, uh, I feel to begin with, you always establish, especially because this is virtually and we are not just distributed but dispersed team, right? Everyone is at a different location altogether. So uh, in the first 1 week, right, till the time your laptop and your logistics are getting settled, you are getting, you will anyways be aligned to a project, right? And we call it project in service industry. I know it's kind of anti-pattern, doesn't sound right, but yeah, that's how you will be, or an account that you will be aligned to. Understand who would be your team, and use that first 2 weeks very wisely by setting up one-to-one calls. It sounds overwhelming when you hear, oh my god, 10 calls I have to attend with 10 members. It's like huge, it's humongous, I cannot, like, what is the Deepashi talking? But trust me, you'll have that time in the first couple of weeks, till the time you're enabled and aligned, get your accesses, etc. Right? So use this time to establish that connect and understand, Scrum or no Scrum, or Agile or no Agile, to get the work done, you need to establish trust and that confidence that people can confide in you, especially when you have to drive in transformations. They say, right, drive in transformation. I don't believe in that, but yeah, especially when you have to get things done, when you have to motivate people, get connected. So use this one-to-one to establish that. On first day, nobody is going to confide in you. If you say, how is your day, they will say fine, right? But to go to the next level of engagement, when you have to ask those thought process, like, you have to trigger their thoughts, you need to establish this rapport. Use this time to establish the rapport, right? Also, once you're don't try to bring about any change in the first couple of months. No change should come from the just observe, sit back and observe, right? Why I'm saying this? Because this will help give you time to review the artifacts which are present. That you will have that temptation, I want to fix this is not right, hold on to that, because you have to first identify what are the, and I always say maintain a logbook, right? Just like we have a product backlog, as a Scrum Master, maintain your impediment log list, that these are the issues that I see, these are the, in these artifacts this is missing, right? It could be anything. It could be quality of the artifact, it could be that you don't like the language in it, it could be the smallest, or it could be very huge, that there's a lot of gap between the artifact and what is the real product that has been done, right? It could be as big as that, but do not take any action, right? The reason I say this is, go over the team dynamics, understand, read that. How can you understand the team dynamics? Attend every Scrum event that is happening, whatever extra event also that is happening. You might not be able to deliver or give solutions. Hold back to that, right? First, understand, observe, listen, understand how one team member is being snubbed. Just an example, right? Observe that somebody is being a senior. You can easily make that conversation. Like when you listen to people, you can easily make out this must be the SME. Everybody is saying yes to him. He might be the architect because nobody is questioning him, right? You can easily make those notes. Do not spill your bills, or show what you are going to work upon. So these would be your to-do list, your own personal to-do list to move this team to a high performing team, right? Because that's your ultimate aim, to have the discussions with SMEs and also understand the architecture of the product. Understand the product dynamics. who is my business, who is my, who are the engineering guys, who are my IT, understand who are we working for, understand the overall team dynamics, spend that time, initial 2 to 3 weeks in understanding this, right? Make notes. Down the line you will remember the names even in your when I wake you up, right? But initially learn the names. Who are my key stakeholders? Make that list, because these will be the people with whose cooperation will be needed to deliver whatever you're looking forward to, right? Then also understand what is the organization wide policy and standards, right? Because this is a hard truth, at least in service industry, that when you're working on these every company has a certain standard and guidelines to work on. You at based on my experience, you will never have a pure Scrum team. You might be, as a Scrum Master, also need to fulfill certain duties or certain requirements towards your organization. It could be as simple as producing certain metrics, right? That it has to be provided every month for the quality team. Do that parallelly, but do not you cannot expect a pure Scrum role. I mean, have your expectations also very clear, right? Whenever, so I already talked about notice the anti-patterns, notice the deviations, and make the notes. Do not solve a problem. And the next tip which I'm going to do, I have used it personally myself. Don't call me a stalker, but yes, do visit their profiles on LinkedIn and Facebook, right? Every stakeholder, every team member, visit it, because that will give you an idea what is their background. Scrum Master is a very it's a job of an artist, right? Knowing the person, knowing what interests them can help you. You have to humanize the workplace. It's not about it's not a robot work, or it's not plug and play. It doesn't work, right? That you remove a Scrum Master and you add one and it works like this. No. So make yours, you gather enough information so that you can leverage it in future. So that's the first thing you should do with your team, right? Like with stakeholders also, you might not have one-to-one with stakeholders because people don't have time for you. Your team will give you that time of one-to-one, so have that with your team, have it with the PO, etc., right? Anyone you want to, if there is a separate management team altogether, product management, and you want to talk to them, have that. But beyond that, you might not be able to have the one-to-ones, right? Stakeholders might not have enough time, but there is no harm asking for it, because in few instances I've seen they have agreed for a one-to-one, where I normally introduce them that, okay, I have recently joined, I will be the agile coach, or I will be the Scrum Master for the team. But sometimes they might not agree, but at least observe them during the sprint events that happen. Observe what is the bond between the PO and the teams, right, during the product backlog refinements. So that is one thing that you can do. Also, when it comes to the product, right, in case it's a product development that you are doing, or in case if it is even a support project that you have gone to, that you have to implement Kanban, for example, understand what is the workflow, right? For operations, if you are in operations team, understand the workflow. What are the classes of services? What are the different things that we cater to as a team? So understanding that process is very important. When it comes to a product, understand the product. Do we really have a vision, or it is, see, it's not always a matured product, right? But have your own checklist, that do we have a vision? Do we have a strategy? Do we have the objectives? Any roadmap, any release planning in place? Go over those. What are the metrics that we measure? What is the hypothesis at the work, right? So these are very nitty-gritty small things that you can always collect these information the moment you are in the team, right? But do not try to bring about any change. I re-emphasize this, right? Do not talk about bringing in any change. It also depends upon the maturity of the team, right? Sometimes the teams aren't that mature, right? They're at a very nascent stage. Just people don't want to hear agile at that time. So do not even utter that word, right? Because the moment you bring, have you noticed, like as a kid also, right? As a kid also, when your parents say, oh, did you wake up? Now go for bath. I mean, you normally take bath, but when your parents start keep nagging you, you have to take bath, you haven't taken, you resist that, right? You don't want to do that. And then you are like, I will not take bath today. Do whatever you want, right? So do not be in that mode, right? Do not be a parent. You are not a parent, right? Do not try to discipline and try to make it the best scrum team. That is not your aim. Scrum, no scrum, Kanban, no Kanban, doesn't matter. You want to ensure value delivery happens, and for that what you really need to do is ensure that the team understands or confides in you. More than the before, the team understanding agile, they should first confide in you. They should know that, okay, he or she is there to help me and not to implement agile. That is the first thing, that cultural change will come not by saying, how are you feeling today? They will say, I'm fine. But that would come by saying, hey, I saw, how was your daughter was not well, what happened? Making those small talks. There is something called radical candor, right? Where you talk about, you show the care also, and you show that you are be direct also, right? So somewhere, so embracing that feedback and how to share it back to the team, and be vulnerable also at times. Say that I don't know this, right? uh, the fourth thing that they should focus on is processes and tools. Very important part. People these days are obsessed with Jira, Rally, Azure DevOps. You go in any interview, they would be asking you at least 10 questions would be there, right? How do you drive the metrics? So it's important. Bottom line, underlining thing, it's important. So you have to understand what are the processes, tools that you have to work upon. It could be that you are not conversant with it. Can be. Learn that. Use that 2-3 weeks rather than showing and proving your mettle that I can make this big change. You become empowered first. Understand what is the process. If you, I know in my account, when I started, right, I'm talking about 5 years, 6 years back, there was Confluence. We had absolutely no idea what is Confluence all about, right? But we started, right? So as you might not know all the tools, and tools will come and go, let me tell you that. So be that avid learner, right? Do not get that, oh god, I don't know the tool. Do not. Tools today, Jira is there, tomorrow Jira Align will come, and they then the next project there will be Excel. So don't shy away from that, but focus on the tools and focus there, right? So understand more importantly, focusing on the tools, understand why it is being used. Why are they using Jira? Okay, they are using maybe for the planning part. What are the metrics they are trying to see, right? What are the metrics they are trying to gauge? So just do those kind of activities, and slowly and steadily understand if there are any engineering practices they're already using, right? It could be TTD, BTD, anything. I mean, I'm just giving you some pointers here. Understand the definition of done. Go over it. As a Scrum Master, you should know everything that your team is doing. People say Scrum Masters are not technically, involved, because you don't have to actually give the suggestion or solution. But at the same time, you need to understand the end-to-end flow so that you can at least understand what discussion is going on. It will definitely give you a better edge, right? And last but not the least, I would say, understand the organization where you are placed. Understand where you fit in the big picture of the organization. Especially if you're in product-based company, I would say it's you will be there, you'll know. But especially if you're in service based organization, right, you need to know which sector you are working for, what is your what is your account size, where does the account fit it in the sector, right, which how if there are any competency, agile competency already there, is there any community of practices already there, try and get involved there, right? Why? Because you have to create your own personal brand also. Never in an attempt to be a good scrum master, do not forget that, because you are not, of course that is part of your responsibility or your accountability to make the team high performing, but you are also responsible for your own career, right? So to look so you please focus more on your own career also, how you can contribute even beyond your accounts, right, or your delivery that is being expected out of you, so that you can have your footprint and people know you, build your, because this is a new organization, remember that, right? So understand where you fit in the big picture, know about what is your current role, what is your next growth path. Do not miss on that, because what happens is first when you join a new organization, you become so relaxed that for the first 1 year you will be very happy with the salary hike and all, right? And by the time you realize that no, I want to look at the new opportunities, you realize, oh, I just wasted 1 year. So don't do that, right? So focus on understand what will be your next growth path. You'll always have someone, a people manager aligned to you. You might have someone or HR. I don't know how it works in other organizations and all, but I know you will have somebody who can let you know what will be your next role, what would be your growth path. It might not happen overnight the next day, but do focus there, right? So these are the 5 parameters I thought would be really helpful, or things that should be there in your mind when you join any new organization. So I hope that was helpful,
And
and that's
thanks
about
a lot,
it.
Dipashri, for this wonderful session. And obviously, we are going to have more sessions with you, because
Sure.
it's a really nice conversation, which and the insight which you have bring is really good. So thank Deepa for your time.
Hey, thanks, Sunand.
Thanks.
Okay.